the three key things that come to mind?
Well, I didn't read it before I came on here. So I would say, well, a couple of things is one is this stereotypical concept that somehow selling is a low status and high pressure thing. Nobody wants to come across as salesy. Nobody wants to come across as pushy. Most of us are quite normal human beings. We just want to get along with people. We don't want to come across that way because we can, I mean, quite rightly, I mean, that's not something we want to attach to ourselves and our reputation, our profile. Completely understandable. But you have to learn that it's not about that. It's about finding people who need you. And if you find people who need you, well, that's not about pushing stuff on them. It's about them coming and asking you, what can you do for me, right? So that'll be one of them. There's this fear of being seen as salesy or pushy or some way unprofessional, which perfectly, nobody would want to be in that space. The second thing tends to be around the issue of facing rejection, being rejected. Now, rejection, fear of failure and rejection are both linked together, right? We don't want to fail because we're afraid of being rejected. And we don't want to be rejected because that goes against the basic human need, which is about acceptance. It's the same reason most people are poor at networking. They don't want to go and work the room and talk to people because they're afraid of being salesy, they're afraid of being seen pushy, and most importantly, they're afraid of being rejected. Nobody likes to be rejected, right? But you can learn, so networking is a strategy, not a hope, right? There's a methodology, a process. So the second reason is about being rejected. I mean, I often say that, you know, salespeople live lives of constant rejection, interspersed by moments of blissful triumphs. That's the key. So and that's about, you know, it's like a doctor, you know, you don't use the same medicine for every patient. You know, you don't use a scalpel for every ailment, right? You identify the people you want to work with, the people you can be of service of, and you only focus on them. So the piece about being afraid of being seen as salesy or pushy, the fear around rejection. And I think the third one is competency. You know, most people assume that, you know, you see a lot of extroverts or semi-extroverts in sales because they can talk, right? But that's not what selling's about, right? Selling's about asking. It's about listening. I mean, it's the old salesman's prayer. I have 2 ears and 1 mouth. Oh, Lord, please help me to use it in that ratio, right? But you'll see nervous new salespeople and all they use talk, 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 talk. Well, why wouldn't a professional, an expert or a legal or an accounting person be nervous of that, right? But the reality is that there's a whole competencies around selling, which is about asking, engaging, suggesting, not talking. Because ultimately if you want to be of service to somebody, if you want to sell to somebody, you've got to understand where they're at, what's with it with them. And here's the beauty about that. In a world where people are more and more busy about themselves, a person who gives you time, attention, interest, and engagement will always be valued by the other person. And they're the fundamental differences from being your classic traditional salesperson, which still exists because the training still produces them, to being a highly trusted advisor that people want to spend time with.